when it came to the Reds and their organization. It kind of started because the place that I work out at here in Arizona, it's called Push Performance, and two of the instructors that I've worked out with since October are in the Reds organization. One of them is Nate Irving, who's the Reds bullpen catcher, also a fellow UVA guy. So I had a connection with him. And the pitching guy, Simon Matthews, who actually is currently in the Dominican working with some of the younger prospects down there. Working with them, they helped me so much. I've learned so much this offseason. I've really continued the process that started last summer when I was going through some stuff. And I think here with those two guys, we were really able to take things to the next level and make some significant improvements. But, you know, working with them every day, I got to learn a lot about the Reds organization, just from conversations that kind of came up. Obviously having the connection that I have with Sonny Gray, being his former teammate, spending those years together in Oakland. He's kind of a guy that I always kept tabs on, that I was always rooting for, even from afar when I was in DC, and he was in Cincinnati. So, but I think also too, the steps the Reds have taken on the developmental side, especially with their pitchers, some of this new age stuff, I guess new age is in quotes, it's been around for like 5 years or so at least. And the way that they're developing guys, the way that they're using data, the way that they're using analytics and interpreting it, to keep players having their best chance, to be the best version of themselves throughout the course of a long season was something that I was really excited about. We've been using a lot of those similar, the terminologies and the philosophies. That's how I've been training over the course of the off season. And I know the Reds, they definitely speak that language. I know that they're able to interpret those kinds of things, break them down, and really help their guys stay on top of their game over the course of a season. So that was another thing that I was really excited about as well.
Let me pop in here for just one quick second. Simon Matthews is new to the organization. He's our development coach for pitching, and there's one T in Matthews. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Sean, did you sign specifically to be the closer, or are you open-minded about how you might get used?
No, I'm super open-minded about how I might be used. I don't think I have any right to come in and expect to compete or be handed that spot after the year I had last year. But I will say, I think I've made a ton of improvements. I'm really excited about where I'm at heading into spring training. I hope to be able to pitch well enough that I'm in the mix there late in games. But I also know I have to earn that spot. I was up front with the Reds throughout negotiations that I'm open to a number of different roles. I'm at a point in my career where I just want to win. And, having two lefties in the bullpen, if Amir is in that, if he slides into that closer spot, I can match up with the lefties in front, to try to help get him the ball in a save situation. I've pitched in a matchup role as a lefty. I've been a setup man. I've been a closer. I have experience doing a number of different things that I think, might help provide some flexibility. And like I said, I want to win, and whatever that takes, as long as it's something that's communicated up front, we have a game plan going in. I'm ready to do whatever.
What was free agency like for you? Just the process overall.
It was wild, man. This is my first time going through it. This will be my 10th season in the big leagues, and this is my very first time really having any sort of say on where I was going to play. So there were parts of the process that I really enjoyed. I really appreciated having that opportunity to kind of shop around a little bit and see where the next chapter of my career was going to be. And there were also parts of it that were nerve wracking. I wasn't coming off a great season last year. I tore my oblique, and there's some question marks there for sure. Valid question marks for sure. So there were some times where it was a little nerve wracking, but as far as it pertains to the Reds, like they were one of the first teams to reach out, and we had a really consistent and open dialogue throughout this whole process. I mentioned the FaceTime that I was getting, especially with Nate Irving. I think the Reds were able to track some of my progress that I was making, maybe a little bit more closely than other teams. So I think that kind of, developed some trust between our side and the Reds. And, we were able to get it done. And I'm super excited with how it worked out. There were certainly some stressful times, but at the end of the day, I'm grateful for the whole process, and I'm really excited about how it worked out.
Nate, or I'm sorry, Sean, you mentioned winning.
I'm Sean.
Yeah, I know. I had Nate on the brain. All you UVA guys look alike.
Yeah, fair.
If you had Nate's arms, you would be pretty interesting. You mentioned winning and that being a big part. How do you see the Reds able to compete on the field and be a part of that equation?
Yeah, I think we're going to be really good. And I think the NL Central is kind of wide open this year. And I think everybody saw the strides that the Reds made last year, getting to the playoffs. Ran into a tough Braves team that I had to deal with quite a bit. So I know they were really good. But I love the energy that the team plays with. I love the mix of veteran guys and young guys that they have on the field and in the clubhouse. There are definitely some personalities on the team that I think is awesome. I think you need that, for clubhouse chemistry. I think you need that for, to keep the energy up over the course of a long season. I think there's a lot here that I'm excited about. And the more I learn about it, the more I learn about the team, the more I learn about the organization, and the more I talk to some of the guys, the more excited I get about it as well. So I think we're going to have some fun. I think we're going to win a lot of ball games, and I think we're definitely going to be in the mix for sure.
Hey, Sean, outside of the organization, teammates, and the baseball stuff, in your road trips to Cincinnati, do you like the town? Are there spots in town you like? How have you grown to know Cincinnati in your time in the major leagues?
I think it's a sleeper town. I think it's one of those places people don't realize is actually pretty cool. My wife and I have explored it on a couple of occasions when we rode through there, and I've always really enjoyed it. We didn't get to play there last year, but I don't know if you guys remember it at the beginning of the 2018 season. We're going back in time a little bit here, but the Nats opened at Cincinnati, and we had some rain there. And so we ended up, getting rained out on opening day. Then we had 3 games after that. I think we were there for like 5 or 6 days. It felt like we were there for a long time, and we got to explore quite a bit. I found a really cool vintage shop that I'm hoping to get back to. I forget the name of it, but my wife and I we're going to try to look it up, because I got a really cool Grateful Dead shirt and this really cool plaid flannel jacket there. They have I know they have some really good indie bookstores that I went to one in 2019 that was really cool. But there's a lot I still don't know. I've only experienced it as a visiting player, in short chunks. So I'm excited to explore. I'm really excited to, connect with the fan base, to get involved in the community. So that it's going to be a really fun part of this new adventure for us.
You still wear the Grateful Dead shirt or the plaid shirt?
Yes, for sure. They're in heavy rotation. That's why I got to get back there.
You mentioned being here for opening weekend. I know it got rained out for opening day that year, but just back to the fans, can you just feel or have you seen it on social media, just kind of how passionate this fan base is for baseball?
Yeah, for sure. I've seen I haven't been on social media a ton here over the past, actually really over the whole off season. I really was trying to keep my head down, my blinders on, and focus on getting better and free agency and stuff like that. But I have peaked a couple times over the last few days. Once the news of the deal came out, and then today it became, Twitter official, Instagram official. And it's been cool to see the fan responses. I'm excited to later on today hop on and start connecting with the fans. It seems like it's a really energetic and passionate fan base, and I'm stoked to get to know them a little bit.
Sean, do you feel like those peak all-star years are still in your future? What will it take to get back to that level for you?
I do feel that way. I'm super biased, but I feel like I can still pitch at that level. But no, seriously, it wasn't that long ago in the postseason in 2019, and actually for the majority of the 2019 season where I was still pitching at that level. And then last year, I didn't come out of quarantine very well. I was thrown into a net in my backyard, and I think I picked up some bad habits. I couldn't make the corrections quick enough in summer camp, and I started the season in a really bad spot. But I will say, over the last several months here, starting over the summer, really diving into some of the fixes that I needed to make. I've learned so much. I think you come to a point in your career where you do a lot of it on instinct, you do a lot of it on feel, and then stuff starts going sideways on you, and you can't always make the fix the right way because you don't know exactly what is going wrong or why it's going off the rails. And that was a wake-up call for me for sure. If I want to extend my career, if I want to continue to pitch at a high level, there were some things that I was really going to have to address. And coming here to Arizona, being able to work with these guys here at Push, I think we had to break a lot of bad habits. We had to ingrain some motion patterns, some movement patterns that were very reminiscent of how I was moving in Oakland and in Washington. And I'm really excited about where I'm at. I feel like I'm back to being myself. There were times last year where it just felt like, you're constantly searching, you're not sure what's going on. You're not throwing the ball with a lot of confidence. It really stunk. And I don't ever want to be in that position again. So I threw myself into this process, and I really feel like I've turned back the clock a little bit. I'm one of the oldest guys here. All these guys here are like in their early 20s. So like they're keeping me young. I'm trying to keep up with them. They're kicking my butt, but it's been a ton of fun. I've learned a lot. It's really like re-energized my passion for baseball. Like this has been like one of the best off seasons I've ever had. So I'm stoked to get going.
What do you know and what do you like about some of the other Reds relievers, Amir Garrett, Lucas Sims, guys like that?
I love the energy and the passion that Amir brings to the mound whenever he's out there. I think that kind of energy can be infectious. I think that's from the outside looking in, it looks like that is certainly one of the mentalities that you want in your closer, that fearlessness, that confidence, wanting the ball with the game on the line. I've seen some really cool things about some of their other guys too. Not playing them last year. I'm not super familiar with a lot of them. I saw Lucas throw, it was probably a couple months ago at this point. But I got to talk to him for a little while too. And he seems awesome. I know he took a huge step forward last year and was pretty nasty. Antone, you guys were talking about some of these guys earlier before too. I don't know if he's a starter, if he's going to be a starter reliever, but watching him last year kind of come into his own was really cool. So I don't know. There's a lot to be excited about. And I'm excited to see kind of, where I fit in and see however I can help, whether it's, as in that veteran leadership role or, providing valuable innings at the back of the bullpen. I'm excited to be a part of this group.
One or two more from Cincinnati before we move on to the Nationals.
What did
Anybody?
you learn about winning in 2019 on the way to that World Series championship that maybe could help you and help your new team this season?
Oh my gosh. I don't know if we have enough time to really talk about how much we learned, but shoot, man, I think it's about coming together as a team first and foremost. A lot was made about the kind of the path that we took to even get a playoff spot, hitting rock bottom. That team was 19-31 at the end of May. And the vibes around the in and around the clubhouse weren't great. And we had a lot of team meetings. We had to hash some stuff out, to come together as a group and really find our identity as a team. And that's a process that has to happen, kind of every year. I'm not saying you have to hit rock bottom, but I'm saying you have to find your identity. You have to know who you are as a team. You have to figure out how you're going to win. And it's not always going to be pretty, those wins, but you got to find a way to win. And for us, that team, the recipe was starting pitching. That was our strength as a team. We got contributions from guys up and down the lineup. It wasn't like one guy was just carrying that team. As good as, which sounds weird to say, as good as Soto was that year, as good as Rendon was for us. Guys were coming in and stepping up when it was their opportunity to be called upon. Guys really embraced their roles and kind of checked their ego at the door. And I think part of that was it was maybe easier because we had such a veteran team that guys were willing to say, I don't know how much longer I have left in this game, but this is an incredible opportunity we have right here with this group. I just want to be a part of it. And so, you had guys that were coming off the bench like Howie Kendrick and really embracing that role. I think it's about embracing the role that you find yourself in and wanting to be the absolute best that you can possibly be in that role. And shoot, maybe you play yourself into a bigger role. But maybe, you stay in that role and that provides a lot of value for the club. That provides a lot of value to the clubhouse as well. So, there's always been kind of this ongoing debate about what comes first, winning or clubhouse culture. And for us, I think the clubhouse culture came first, and guys really embraced the challenge that we had in front of us to turn our season around, and came together in a really cool way that I'm so proud to be a part of that 2019 Nationals team.
Thank you guys from Cincinnati. I'm going to stick around through the end, obviously. If you want to stick around, I'll answer any of your questions about spring training, but why don't we move forward with some questions from some of the Nationals media. Byron?
Hey, Sean, good to see you again.
Hey, Byron.
You always talk so much. Hey, how are you, buddy? UVA.
Good, how are you?
Everybody always talks about velocity and stuff like that. Has that weighed on you this last year in your workouts? And have you seen any difference in your velocity in your workouts getting ready for 21?
I have started to see the velocity has started to pick up, and I've been working out in the high 80s right now, which is, unfortunate to say, but that's where I started the season last year in games. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. I normally get another tick once spring training starts, and I normally get another tick after that once the season starts. So I think I'm in a good spot right now. The thing that I've been most excited about is some of these peripheral numbers with the spin rate, the spin efficiency. It seems to be all the way back. We've been at 99 to 100% spin efficiency for the last few months. We've been consistently getting vertical breaks above 20 inches. I have a new toy that I've been playing with, a breaking ball that profiles more as a curveball than a slider. The early results have been really, really encouraging as well. This is my first time doing any sort of like pitch design, or being able to use some of these high-speed cameras and the Rapsodo data to put together like some experiments with some secondary pitches to see like what I can use during the season. So I really enjoyed that process. I think I'm just excited about the way my body's moving. The ball's coming out really clean. I think the velocity is going to be there, once spring training starts for sure.
And you already talked about 2019, but do you look back fondly at some of the teammates that you had with the Nationals and some of the pitchers that you work with that actually helped you progress in your career?
Yeah, I mean, I will always be grateful for the experience and the time that I got to spend in the Nats organization. To be able to watch guys like Max Scherzer and Steven Strasburg on a daily basis, two of the best pitchers of our generation, to see the way that they go about their business every day, how they prepare, the things that they do behind the scenes to really improve their game year in and year out. But like, and the guys I got to share bullpens with, the guys I came over with in 2017, like Madsen and Kinsler, they had huge impacts on my career. And I think it helped that we were all going through that trade and finding our roles in DC together. But then, even going into 2019, you had guys in that bullpen like Huddy and those guys that really helped me, that were a huge part of what we did as a team. So, I mean, that organization, from the teammates that I had to the staff, the support staff, the clubhouse staff, and, the people that worked, in the media relations for the Nats. I know I can be a little bit of a handful, and I can be a little high maintenance, especially when it comes to like media and off the field stuff. But everybody was always, it's hard to put into words. I'm incredibly grateful for my time there. It was really very special.
Well, I'm going to miss you. Congratulations on your new deal, and my best to Arian and the family.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Once.
When's the last time a razor touched your beard?
Like when I was clean shaven. Last time I was clean shaven was 2012. I started growing my beard in the beginning of spring training of 2013. Now, like, I've trimmed it up. I'm growing it back out now to get ready for the season. But especially like there were parts of like last year and early this off season where I had it much, much shorter, to try to, cause wearing a mask all the time, the mask wouldn't like hook under my chin. So it was like sliding up, and it probably wasn't very effective. But then I switched to the Gator, and I found ones that have filters in them, so they seem to work better for people that have beards. So once I figured out my mask situation, I was like, all right, I'm going to grow the beard back out. So it's almost ready for spring training. Another couple weeks, it'll be in a good spot.
Very elaborate answer. I appreciate that.
Well, Sean, thank you for your time very much for joining us. I know you're in the middle of a workout right now, and we all appreciate your time very much.
No, I just got done. Can you guys tell? Very long time no see.
Wide angle.
Oh, thank you, Sean. I'll hang on here if you guys have any questions about spring training. So, John,
Thanks,
we'll see you
Sean.
next week.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Sean.
Talk
Thank
to you
you very
again
much.
soon.